All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CAGcast episode number 760. I'm your host, GPD, here in Long Island, New York. And as always, we're joined by a man who can't wait to tell you that Zelda's trash from the trash can, Wombat.
Double trash from the trash can.
Probably going to have to wait till next week, actually, to say that.
For when I still haven't played it? Yes. Wait until next week where I still haven't played the game.
Right. Well, Shipwreck is going to explain it to you next week, and then you can tell him that it's trash from the trash can, just from his explanation.
That's fair. That is fair assessment.
Look, I'm looking forward to it.
He's nodding his head.
That,
you bought it.
Yeah, that 25% off deal on Amazon. That was a pretty good deal.
I don't see
that every day.
It was probably, well, that was some like live, they were like doing this shopping streaming thing.
Click on this streamer and then click on the coupon, then add the item from the list to the cart while the stream was going on. And then
that shit's $70.
Not for me, it wasn't.
I know. So I'm saying you made you had big savings.
Big savings, yeah. I was out the door for I don't know, $51 or something like that.
Nice.
That's reasonable for a game that'll take a while to get a discount.
Yes.
How long are these $70 Nintendo games going to wait to get discounted?
Oh, I don't know. That's a great question. I feel like it's going to be the usual.
Bag.
I think it's going to be the usual amount of time for it to see a discount. Why not?
You mean never?
Well, they get there eventually.
They get there eventually, and then they're like, we'll sell you this for $40 for like 2 weeks, and then we'll jack the price.
Right, that I could see. That I was just thinking that could happen.
And that's probably if I ever get the game, that'll be when it'll be.
So 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
What if the reviews come out this week and it's like, well, you can't even trust the reviews. These people they drank the Nintendo Kool-Aid they've been drinking it for 20 years, 30 years.
I feel like it's going to be pretty good.
Like, I mean, Breath of the Wild is GQ's #1 game of all time. We'll get to that later.
Yes.
What's the #2 game of all time?
I don't know.
Space Invaders.
There were 2 Souls games in the top 10.
I can't even bring myself to look at that list. But like you said, we'll talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I just spoiled my opinion on it.
Oh, there we go. I'm still here. Did I go away?
Ooh. No, you're still there.
Okay. Sorry. I clicked on something on my iPad because we're just blown up here on my iPad on my calendar notifications. Apparently, we're going to be going to a lot of musicals. Like they just keep on showing up on my calendar here. Like Gretchen's just buying musical tickets.
That's what she's doing while you're doing the show.
Did you get like season tickets to your local theater?
Maybe. We're going to be seeing Beetlejuice.
Nice.
Going to be
National Touring Company.
I don't.
Michael Keaton.
Didn't say that. Yeah, Michael Keaton. We'll be seeing Clue. I don't know if that's a musical or not. Is that a musical?
I think it's just a play.
Okay.
I think it's the board game. She just bought the board game.
It could be. We're going to be playing Clue.
Yeah.
In I don't know, March of 2024.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
But yeah.
Nice.
So we got action happening over here of events to talk about in the future.
Nice. I think I'm going to Spain this summer.
Spain?
Nice.
Yes.
The country?
The country.
I've never been to Spain.
Me neither.
But I've been to Arizona.
Those are different places. I
know, it's a song.
Oh. Everything's a song.
Everything's a song. Yeah.
So what's been going on since we've been off? Wow, last week was your birthday week, but we didn't have a show.
I know. It was my birthday. It was not a good week. So we're going to forget it happened and we're going to move forward.
Can you get a redo on your birthday week or it's just
I mean, we're honestly like there have been moments where like let's do this because last week kind of was a disaster. Let's try to enjoy ourselves a little bit. Like this weekend we have a lot of plans and
have sex.
Yes, that's part of the agenda. I was sick last week, so that was part of it.
Yes,
and my uncle died. That was part of it on my birthday. Oh
no! What the fuck?
And Sabrina had like the worst week of her life last week, which it was just sort of a miserable week all around. And we're just kind of moving. We're moving forward. That's all you can do.
So don't make fun of you too bad this week.
I mean, it's fine. You two are not my problem.
Right.
If I really cared what you thought about me,
right,
I wouldn't.
That sounds like a challenge, though.
Right. Free pass this week.
All right. Woo. Oh, well, that sucks. Hopefully this week's almost over already. Well, hopefully it went better.
Yeah.
And you get a redo.
Yeah, I mean, it was like even like my birthday dinner, like we went someplace that we don't normally go to, and the food was bad. It was like just this, like
it was like a joke.
You know what? It's like
those other Chili's.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's funny? We went to Chili's for dinner the Friday before my birthday as like a family birthday dinner because my kids still like Chili's and it's close.
Fuck your kids, man! Just go where you want to go.
I would rather not. But
it's crazy that you go to a Chili's. I feel like
we went to a steakhouse on Saturday.
Yes,
that was where
Outback
I want to go
Steakhouse.
dinner. You know, we went to Tom Steakhouse actually.
The navigation service.
Yes, Tom Navigation Service Steakhouse. They had. I got a filet mignon that was actually cooked perfectly. It was
turn
really
right
good.
for a delicious filet mignon.
It was really good.
Mm.
So, but anyway, that was it. And we're going to Small Batch for Mother's Day. So
nice. We usually go there on special occasions, but not this time.
That's the only. It's funny because we had thought about going there for the birthday dinner, but I'm like, no, let's do that for Mother's Day because there are other people coming into town that have never been there, so it'll be more fun. But anyway, that's enough about that.
The spicy chicken sandwich is actually very spicy.
A sandwich?
Be warned.
Okay.
Be warned. If someone thinks about getting the spicy chicken sandwich and if they're wondering if it's spicy or not, I watched somebody order it, like at the table next to me, and take a bite out of it and just like tap out immediately. And then like barely when the waiter came to pick up the food at the end, it was just like only bites were taken out of the outside rim of the sandwich. There was nothing. It was just like a cylinder of a sandwich.
So you're saying that my 85-year-old father-in-law should not order the spicy chicken sandwich?
I've had it and my head got very wet.
Okay.
So
I wonder if I can handle it. You know who would probably like that because he loves the spicy stuff is my son.
You can probably. I feel like you can handle that. It's not like, you know, I'm like kind of a lightweight when it comes to that. But anyway,
I would say I'm a middleweight. I'm not a heavyweight when it comes to spice. I would say somewhere in the middle. I don't.
Shipwreck is a heavyweight because he bought me those spicy potato chips and I could barely eat them, and it was a lot of potato chips.
I like spicy food.
Yes,
I like spice. I could. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to like overstate my spice ability.
A little bit of pain. Like if we're talking about like Indian food, that's a different level because it's a totally different.
It's interesting.
Palate.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? It'd be like a mile that an Indian restaurant might fucking slay you.
Right. Like I still don't get that food yet.
Racist.
Like yes, my taste buds are racist about not knowing why is this so hot? Why am I crying while I'm eating this?
I love Indian food.
We have an authentic Indian place near us, and when we go, I don't say mild, I say extremely mild because sometimes mild it's Indian mild.
Just get tikka masala. That's never spicy.
I don't know.
I want to get the spicy stuff, but I want to understand like
you can get all the vindaloo you want, but he should stick to his tikka masalas.
I just don't understand how there's people that are eating it that aren't like sweating.
Practice.
Right? Yeah. Like
and growing up with it. It's genetics. Same reason why you can't be in the sun, Ship. You can have the internal heat, but not the external heat. Mm-hmm. That's your DNA. Let's see. I had a steak dinner too, Wombat. Have you ever been to Old Homestead?
In the city?
In the city. It's supposedly
the oldest steakhouse in Manhattan.
In the country, supposedly. I believe that's what they say.
Well, both statements are true then.
True. I could have made that up though, but I think I read that.
Okay.
We had these friends come in from Japan who requested a steak dinner. And
I was there once. I think I'm no joke in 1999, 2000. Like it was that long ago.
It's probably
like
the same.
Years ago.
It probably hasn't changed much. But these guys are there's no real comparison in America or in New York, but they're like the premier real estate family of Tokyo or Japan. And it's just like Ty and their daughter went to daycare together when we were living in Tokyo, so we became friendly with them.
Did you make the dowry arrangements during the.
I mean, they sat next. I mean, the whole idea was for them to like hang out and stuff. I mean, not the whole idea, but part of the idea was. But I don't. Yeah, I told them. I said, "Hey, it's time, get married to her."
Pops.
So we went to Old Homestead, and it was pretty good. And they definitely had a lot of meat. But they also wanted to go to the Met game. They wanted to check out Citi Field since it was renovated. You know, the mom is on the board of directors of this big real estate company in Japan, and obviously baseball is very popular in Japan. I think she had been to the new Yankee Stadium. She wanted to check out Citi Field, which we did. We went during the doubleheader. They had a doubleheader because the game we were supposed to go to got rained out. And I guess like the second game of a doubleheader, like everybody just leaves by the second game because it was fucking just like empty.
You can only sit and watch so much baseball in a day.
Yes. And also, like, there were a lot of very drunk people too, because people were sitting there from, I guess the first game was at 1:00 in the afternoon, and we were there around 4. I witnessed not one, but 2 guys just walking, one inside the stadium, one outside the stadium after the game was over, just walking with their friends, holding a beer, and just in slow motion collapse onto themselves. One guy, I think they both did this. They spill the beer very slowly in front of them because their brain is just shutting down as they're walking. Spill the beer in front of them and then slowly fall into it. And still holding the cup that has some beer in it so that when they do hit the ground after it takes like 10 seconds for them to hit the ground, they can still spill more beer on themselves because they're still holding the cup in their hands. It's amazing to watch. And that happened twice.
Now, these people at
your
the game
friends got to see that.
They missed both of them, I believe.
Oh.
Were
these people at the game by themselves?
No, they were with their friends. Because one guy, when we were outside, the guy, when he was getting up, he was like, or his friends were trying to get him up. I heard him say sorry. Because it's embarrassing. But it made me think about like the whole like Mets or every sporting event, like the alcohol presence is so great now, especially at Citi Field. They opened up these bars now in like not just in the private areas, but they're just out in the open, like when you're walking the concourse level, just like bars sponsored by some tequila thing. It's just like everywhere. It's just like I saw, it got me thinking because I read this article that Ian Bogost, that guy that you hate, Chip. What's that guy's name? Ian Bogost? Yeah. He retweeted.
I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. I don't know that I hate him. Do I hate him for doing it?
No, you don't follow him probably.
Probably not.
That's the same thing.
Okay.
In my mind. He tweeted like this article about the aesthetics of legal weed in New York because everywhere smells like weed in New York, in Manhattan. And he was like, it's like ridiculous. The article was talking about like how ridiculous it is that, you've got to do something about the smell. And I'm thinking, I'm watching dudes just fucking drop walking at a sporting event in the middle of the afternoon. Like, you're going to talk about bad smell. Let's talk about like the aesthetics of, people collapsing under their alcohol use or just projectile vomiting. I didn't see that day, but I don't know. It just made me think like, this is in the middle of the day, like on a Monday, Tuesday, I think. Well, Monday, it was a Monday. I don't know. I guess that's what you'd expect to see at a baseball game, like people drinking hard. I don't know. Is that like that in Cincinnati? Have you watched people collapse on
game?
Have you watched people just be walking and just
not collapse? I mean, beers are like $14 each, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I don't know, like
where Ship sits at the Reds game.
They're served in a chalice.
There's no riffraff in the shipwreck section. So he goes in through a special entrance on his private escalator to the box where he sits next to Johnny Bench on one side.
Okay, you've drifted too far now. There's no Johnny Bench. All the rest of that
was okay.
Absolutely true.
I know.
Why would I get tickets to the place where all the food is included in the ticket price, right?
Right.
So
we don't have that in New York.
That's that. My uncle does that with the Yankees. I was invited once.
They have all the food included. Well, that's what Sundance has for.
It's all the food included except for the alcohol. So I get like a beer, maybe 2 when I go to Reds. I haven't been to a Reds. Like I went to 1 Reds game last year. I'll go to like 1 or 2 this year.
It seems like you may not be getting your money's worth.
They're real bad. What do you mean?
If you only go to 1 or 2 games and you're paying for the tickets. Oh, you're not paying for the.
I'm not season ticket holder.
Oh, you're just buying the fancy.
No, I got. Yeah, there's plenty of seats available.
Got it. Understood. Yeah. Mets are terrible. We had no problem getting tickets, but it's just like, I don't know. It's just you can say what you want about the weed smell in Manhattan, and you're right. Like it's a lot. It is like everywhere you go, you smell it. Even at the Mets game, not that one, but the one I went to before, I smelled people smoking weed at the Mets game. But they're not falling down and spilling drinks on each other, on themselves, and just like screaming at the top of their lungs like the players can eat a dick, and luckily there weren't enough people there so the Japanese people couldn't experience that part of it. But anyway, it was interesting.
Sounds it.
I have a what if scenario for you, Wombat.
Oh, I can't wait.
And it also involves weed.
Okay.
So this was on Monday because Mrs. Cheapy was working from home, and I'm walking in my living room and I look out the window. This is 9:30 on a Monday, 9:30 a.m. And I see 5 freshmen, high school freshmen, maybe sophomore, probably most likely freshman, right in like my front, like I got like that little cave area in my front. They're hanging out in there and they're vaping, probably weed. And I'm like, oh God, the camera is not deterring them. They're just like hanging out there. Come back a few minutes later, they're still there. And I'm like, well, am I going to go? Well, what would you do on that? You see these guys smoking weed they're clearly like high school freshmen, maybe sophomore. Now,
are they standing on my lawn?
Yes, they're on your property.
They're on my property.
They're on your property.
What I would do, what you can't do, is because
shoot them.
Yes. No, I have the scary dog. Not the big one, actually. The smaller one is the scary one.
I don't think. Yeah. Okay.
No, trust me. The smaller one does not like other people.
Okay.
And will snap and bark and bare her teeth.
Okay.
So I would just walk outside with her on the leash, like I'm about to go for the walk.
Oh, tricky.
And as soon as the little dog sees the strangers on our lawn, she will go ape shit, and she will go into I need to protect my lawn mode.
Right.
And I'll have to literally 2 hands hold her back.
Right.
And there's no doubt in my mind those kids would run as fast as they could away from my lawn and never show up again.
Or they would vape the dog.
I doubt it. But yeah.
In Ohio, you can shoot them, right, Chip? It's legal.
More or less.
Bear spray. Yeah. Bear spray? Well, I was just going to leave them alone. But when I left, I went and did something else, and I came back and I looked out the window, and now the kids are they're spitting. They're just like chains. I don't know. They're seeing who can spit the farthest or the most. It's just like one after
Don't
another.
You have sprinklers?
Yeah, can't you just use the same as the raccoon?
It's in the front. I don't have sprinklers there. So I stand in the front window and I just stand there until they see me. I have to make eye contact with them. And I wave at them like bye-bye, a bye-bye wave. And the kids just like waved back and didn't do anything. So I opened the window and I was getting mad now. And I opened the window, I was like, it's time to go. Oh no, I went downstairs actually. I at that point, because my wife was working, I was like, I opened the window, but then I went downstairs and went outside. And I was like, time to go, guys. And one of the kids he's like, yeah, we'll dip in a minute. And I was like, don't say dip to me. Like, do I look like I want to hear? Do
you own a hose?
I just it's not what I wanted to hear. I just wanted them to leave.
Out and
no, I just said, I just yelled. They probably could see the vein right here bursting in my head. And I just said, I yelled, it's going to be a lot better if you leave right now. And they did. But I would have just left them alone if they weren't spitting, to be honest. But they were way too young for that kind of nonsense. And I definitely wasn't smoking any weed in high school, so they're not allowed to either. That's the way I look at it.
So to be clear, just spitting, not dipping, spitting.
No, we don't
they were
do
going
that.
to dip.
No, they don't do that. We don't do that here. That's. Why bother when you have weed vapes now? Like that's.
Oh no, I was just trying to understand what.
No, they were just like
the slang was that was going on.
No slang
throughout this.
Literally,
I was confused for a second too.
What slang? Oh, the dip. We'll dip in a minute.
Yeah,
that means like we'll leave.
They were also dipping,
but spitting is also dipping. Yeah.
Yes, they were. The guy was saying that they're going to be leaving in a minute, and I'm like, "You're ready now, Mister." Mm-hmm. What movie, Wombat?
That's Police Academy.
Thank you. I knew he would get it. Yeah. So. Yeah, that's how that.
So when are they going to come back and egg your house?
I don't think so. They. And then I saw them later in the day. I was driving down Main Street and I drove right by the same group of kids. Like, don't these kids go to school at all? Like, what the fuck? It's Monday.
Not those kids.
The hell, man. And I told Ty about it and he's like, yeah, like they have a real bad batch of freshman kids this year. Like they had like an assembly about it. Like there was like some kid, they went to some other school and beat up some kids. I hope it wasn't these guys. Shit, I better lock those doors.
Yep.
Anyway, I was just like, don't spit. It's too gross, man. You could almost deal with the breaking the law on my front yard, but the spitting I can't. Anyway, that's enough. I think. That's enough, actually. Although I will say one exciting thing that is happening. I'm now a table tennis consultant. Because I complained to USA Table Tennis that their website is too hard to figure out how to register for a membership. And then the president wrote me back right away saying that they're looking into it. And then the next day I got an email. They want to set up a meeting about how they can fix it. So then I just wrote up a whole thing and told them how to fix it, send it to them. So we could just skip the whole phone call. Pretty good. I did it for free though. I'm a hero. I don't want to use the word hero.
This should really increase their membership. I think this is what was causing the problems.
Well, I mean, the reason it happened is because I had a woman trying to sign up for our tournament here, and she could not figure out how to fucking get a USA Table Tennis membership. She's like, I'm on the website. Like, I just don't see. I'm clicking the button. There's just nowhere to sign up. And she was right. Like, it's fucking impossible. I solved it for them, though. I'll let you know how the meeting, he's going to be reviewing my changes, and he's going to get back to me this week.
Are you going to be named co-president or vice president? How does that work?
No, I won't be named anything, but yeah, man, I got so bummed out. I was in Dick's Sporting Goods today, and remember I complained how they have a pickleball section before, like, and there's like there's no fucking ping pong section except to sell you the balls to play beer pong. Now in the sneaker section, tennis/pickleball.
Okay.
It's on the wall now, written on the wall.
Sure, it's popular.
People like pickleball.
It's fucked up.
I bet their website's really just easy to register.
Right. I guarantee it. They've
doing it right now.
Yep.
Their website, probably like a pickleball player is not running it. Or like their organization is not run by a player. It's run by a guy who like makes money or like knows how to make a website or something. I don't know. Fucking pickleball, man. Anyway, what else? Watch this, jerks? I see we've been very busy watching things over the last 2 weeks.
I guess I'll go first because I'm first on the list. I watched the David Bowie documentary on HBO Max.
Oh, it's on there now? I've been waiting to watch that.
Moon Age Daydream is finally on there. It was a theatrical release last year. They added it to HBO Max. I watched it.
4K or not 4K? That is the question.
Not 4K. Yeah, I know. It's good. It's good. It's.
Is it like I'm expecting it from watching the trailer? It looked really cool. It looked like it was going to be like when you go to the planetarium and watch like Laser Bowie or something like that. It looked like they're trying to make it like psychedelic.
Yes, it's very psychedelic. It is. It's not even that it's not linear, because it actually is. It does go through all the phases of David Bowie, and it's all just clips from interviews, sound clips from interviews, and then like a live performance, more interviews. But there's no narrator. There's no like text on the bottom of the screen.
Right. A lot of colors.
Lots of colors, lots of clips, lots of interviews, and they just they put everything together from that. So if that's what you're looking for in your documentary, that's what you're going to get. I recommend having knowledge of David Bowie before jumping into this documentary. It's like, if this isn't Bowie 101, this is like Bowie 203 or whatever your senior thesis class on Bowie would be. That's when you watch Moon Age Daydream.
Or if you've eaten a lot of mushrooms, probably.
Or if you've eaten a lot of mushrooms. Like, there are certain things that they just kind of don't even, like, they pass right over. Like the fact that he was married for 10 years to his first wife. There's no name mention, no mention that he was ever married before. But when Iman shows up, they treat it like it was the first time he was married. And that's not until 1990. So it's very, like, there's omissions that stand out.
Right. You obviously were not eating mushrooms before watching this, I can tell.
No, but it's still a good documentary. I still recommend it.
All right. I'm going to watch it.
You should.
What else?
I watched Peter Pan and Wendy. It's the new Disney Plus Peter Pan movie.
That's the one Captain Hook has a machine gun arm now, right? No, he doesn't.
This one, I didn't realize what it was when we went to watch it, which it's pretty much just the live action Peter Pan.
Is it real? That's what I thought it was. Is it really just the original?
Yeah, I mean, they've modernized it.
They don't sing What Makes the Red Man Red, I'm assuming?
They don't sing that one. Tiger Lily is there.
Okay.
She's a tiger now, though.
Not all of the Lost Boys are boys. So
lost them now.
Yeah, lost them. And there's some, like, I don't know, just basic story, just slight differences in like the story and the morals of the story or whatever. But
is there singing?
It's all there. There is some singing, but it's not, I don't know, not really a musical per se. Like, there's
do they sing like songs. Following the Leader? Is that in there?
No.
Tinkerbell has balls now. And talks like this. Hey, it's me, Tinkerbell.
But it's got a lot of like throwbacks to like the scenes you would remember from the cartoon. Like, they've recreated some of those same like scenes, like where they're flying out of their room at the beginning, and Nana the dog is kind of like floating up into the air and everything. Like, they recreate that, and then flying around Big Ben and all of that. So it's well done. I think Jim Gaffigan is a good Shmee.
Oh, it's a good Shmee casting.
Yeah, it's a good casting for Shmee. Jude Law's fine.
I was thinking Ron Jeremy is Shmee, might be better.
Yeah, I think he's dead. Is he dead? Is he in prison or something like that? Whatever.
Yeah. He's assaulting too many women.
Probably why they didn't get him.
It's a good punishment to make him be Shmee, I feel, though.
Mm-hmm.
Shmee is like the best character in
sure.
Peter Pan, right?
It's the comic relief.
Yeah. I mean, he's the comic relief on top of the comic relief, because Captain Hook is already like comical. Right?
Sure.
So I don't know. It's good. My kids liked it. Apparently we're going to go see Peter Pan the musical here as well.
Shit, you're all panned up.
That's different, though. That's the Mary Martin.
Oh, it's way different. It's like a whole,
so different.
You may need the mushrooms.
TikTok Croc in this is absolutely huge.
Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
CG?
No, they got a really huge crocodile.
Great crocodile.
But yeah, so an interesting movie. I was not expecting it to be exactly what it was, but I don't know. Disney has,
and the kids enjoyed it.
Action. The kids enjoyed it. Yeah,
there you go.
It was entertaining.
What's next?
The visuals were good. I also watched A Sort of Homecoming.
Is that the U2 one?
This is the U2 with David Letterman one.
I've been like trying to like force myself to watch it, and every time
force yourself to watch it. Like,
will I like it?
I think. Do you like David Letterman?
I like David Letterman, and I like you too. I just don't know.
You're gonna like it then.
Am I gonna like it?
It's like 75% David Letterman with like acoustic,
a splash of U2.
Yeah, like acoustic versions of U2 songs. Like that's the whole thing. Is like, oh, we've come up with like we're gonna play our old songs, but play them like with acoustic versions or with like a chorus or orchestra, that type of stuff. And it's David Letterman just walking around doing stuff in Northern Ireland.
Sounds like the same thing when he went to Ukraine to interview Zelensky. Similar vibes, singing. Probably. Less singing. Slightly.
So I it's entertaining. It's a I don't know. It's a weird documentary because so much of it is like, here's a travel documentary kind of with David Letterman, but also he's friends with Bono and the Edge. And it's just Bono and the Edge. It's not all of U2.
Yeah. Adam and Larry had previous engagements and were not available.
That's what they said.
Mm-hmm. You know, my good friends, Adam and Larry. From
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's nice because it's like Bono and Edge being friends for that long and still like genuinely liking each other as much as they do, and it shows like in the movie, the documentary.
They kiss, right?
Nonstop.
Oh.
He probably kisses the Edge more than he kisses his wife. So you know.
All right, what else are we watching?
I subscribed to a new streaming service. Not new in the sense that it's a new service, but it's a new streaming service for me. I subscribed to Dropout TV.
Is that for dropouts? College dropouts?
No, it's funny you say that. It is what used to be College Humor.
Okay.
Do you remember College Humor comedy stuff?
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's the joke.
Yeah, that is the joke. Yes, Dropout TV. It's Sam Reich is the founder of it. He bought College Humor and he started this. He's a comedian. His father is Robert Reich, the former.
What's on there though? What's on there?
The show that I like the most is called Game Changer, and he's the host of a game show. But every episode, the rules of the game show change. And the contestants don't know what the rules of the game show are going to be. And the contestants are all like improv comics. So it's not like they don't know what they're getting into per se, but they don't know what the rules of the show are going to be. And they don't know what's going to happen until they just start. Like he doesn't go, and then this week's episode, the rules are blank. He just goes right into it.
Right.
And what happens is, you know, you have the contestants trying to figure out what the rules of the show are. And then once they figure it out, they also really want to win because there are prizes. So it's and they're also, you know, funny people. So
what kind of prizes are they giving away on Dropout TV?
Oh, well, actually, there's one episode.
To Dropout TV.
There's one episode where the prizes are kind of insane. Like that's kind of part of it.
Oh.
Yeah. So like that's actually one of the episodes where it's all about these high-end prizes, and the contestants are like, there's no way that we're getting there's no way this is gonna happen. And I don't want to spoil it, but it's funny. It's really funny. I really like it. And not only that, but my wife, who had never heard of it before either,
nobody's ever heard of this. Like, how do you find out to subscribe to this?
They're really popular on social media and they post clips. And I really like the clips, and Sabrina likes it a lot too. So I thought it'd be a fun thing after our lousy week to subscribe for something for the two of us to, you know, lighten our moods.
Like this is something that, like, if I turn on my smart TV, this is something that's
on. It's 100% on there.
Wow.
Yep. Yes, the app is on there. It's surprisingly popular. Dropout TV. It has that. It has Actually is another popular show. There's another show that I can't think of the name of right now, where it's like, you know, who
just make up something. It doesn't matter. Just say
like
words.
It's like a drink. It's like a drinking game show. That's also
Bottoms
very
Up.
popular.
I think it's called.
So it might very well might be, but it has good shows on it, and it's surprisingly popular. Yeah. So yeah.
How much is this?
$50 for a year.
All right.
Yeah. For the year.
Yep.
What, is that bad?
Who knows?
I have no frame of reference for this. I have no idea.
It quickly became the thing we watch in the house the most.
Good.
Yeah. Literally, it's the thing like when we're watching TV, when we're eating dinner, it's what we put on. Oh, Dirty Laundry is the name of the drinking game show.
Wow.
So name a streaming service you don't subscribe to.
Well, theoretically, I don't subscribe to many. Like HBO Max I have because I'm grandfathered into.
Okay, how many do you not have access to? How about that question?
I have access to most things, but I only pay for Netflix.
Who's paying for the rest of these?
Well, Amazon,
I get.
Amazon comes with the Prime subscription.
You're paying for that.
Well, I'm paying for Amazon Prime. I consider the
you noticed how they doubled the price of the thing over the last couple of years?
Yeah. So Amazon Prime, I guess I pay for that one. Netflix, HBO I get for free.
Peacock.
Disney I get for free.
Peacock.
With my phone service. Peacock and Paramount I do not pay for.
Free cock.
Yeah. I get free cock and free mount.
Nice.
I get the free mountain cock. So really, I'm only paying for 2 services.
But you're paying for it in more ways than one, if you catch my meaning.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching some shows. I watched some shows that I can recommend to you, actually.
All right.
The first one is called The Big Door Prize. It's on Apple TV, which is a service that we've all heard of. It's a...
Don't you get that too?
Yes,
Wombat?
He definitely has that. Right, Wombat? You have Apple TV? No.
I'm sorry. Now, what was the question? I was reading the chat.
We were talking about you.
You were making fun
Apple
of me,
TV?
and I kind of
Do you have
zoned
Apple
out.
TV?
I do have Apple TV,
okay.
yes.
I forgot about that one.
And I don't pay for that.
Okay.
There's going to become a day of reckoning at some point, right? Where
I'm going to have to pay for everything, or I just won't have it anymore? Yeah, probably.
Right.
But for now, no, I do not. I have free Apple TV as well.
Well, you should watch The Big Door Prize. It's only a half an hour a week, and it's a comedy. It's sort of like a comedy drama where in like this small town, they find this machine just mysteriously appears in a store, and it tells you your life's potential and the change that induces in the town after people start learning their life's
Chris
potential.
O'Dowd, right? That's his.
Yes, I didn't know that guy. He's like a weird guy. He's like hard to look at.
He's been around forever.
Yeah.
He's British.
His wife is way too hot in this TV show to believe.
Show?
Yeah, to believe to make it believable.
I don't know who he's married to in real life.
Some ridiculously good-looking woman, and he looks like an alien. But anyway, the show is very good, and he's funny in it. I mean, it's pretty funny, but
You've never seen Bridesmaids?
Serious. Like on an airplane, maybe.
Okay.
But that's a good. Yeah, I remember him in that row. He's like the good guy boyfriend or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's kind of a goofball in this one. He's not such a great guy, but Big Door Prize, entertaining, not like depressing, but gives you something to think about. Not completely mindless either. The other show that we're watching is called The Consultant. That's on Amazon. And that stars Christoph Waltz, who everybody enjoys. He plays a consultant at a video game company, but this show is very dark. It's very dark and weird. If you're looking for a tense, dark, fucked up show, that is The Consultant. I know Shipwreck is not going to be watching this, and probably Wombat won't either. But it's interesting. You don't really know where it's going to go. So I'd recommend that too, even though we've only watched like 2 episodes. But we watched almost all of I think we're totally up to date on Big Door Prize. So that one I can definitely recommend. Consultant, so far so good with 2 episodes. What else we got?
I watched the first episode of Muppets Mayhem, which is the new Disney Plus mockumentary kind of
That's the Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem TV show?
Yes. So
that was a good Dr. Teeth impersonation when you said yes, by the way. You went, yes. Like Dr. Teeth. I assumed that was intentional.
That's just how I talk.
Moving right along.
Yeah, moving right along. Let's keep this going. Yeah. So the idea behind that show is they've been touring all these years, but they've never made an album. So this is them making an album. The first episode was, I mean, it's Muppet stuff. It's some of the humor is slightly raised for adults that they slip in there. Like
slightly racist?
Yes.
Oh, slightly raised.
Slightly raised for adults. Nothing.
They talk about how Zoot is blue. So, you know.
So, right. The trouble it's caused in life. Sometimes they don't let them stay in certain hotels.
Yeah.
Blue entrance only.
I like Muppet shows, so I like this one.
It's okay.
Really good.
It sounds like it's not that great, though.
I mean, I'm only one episode in. Like,
how much Zoot is there? That's the real question. Because
he's all there. There's a lot of Electric Mayhem. All your favorite Electric Mayhem people are there.
All in. How many? Wait, Chiefy.
Yeah.
How many Electric Mayhem members can you name?
There's
I've already given you 2.
Dr. Teeth.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Zoot.
Yep, that's another
Animal.
Yep. Yes.
There's the girl. Her name is Marcy or something? Patty.
No, nope.
Fucking
Janice.
I was getting there. I wasn't getting there. Is that it? Is there more?
There's one more.
There's one more.
Rolf. Is he in there? No. Not Rolf.
I don't even. I watched this and I don't even remember this guy's name.
Oh,
really? You don't remember Floyd Pepper's name?
Oh wait, no. There's another one.
There's another one?
There's another one.
Oh, the one with the yellow hair and the weird wiggly arms? He doesn't have a name.
That you can't, like, doesn't speak actual words most of the time?
He doesn't count.
Do you know his name?
No, I don't. I don't know the name of that.
Chip doesn't know, and he watched it.
I just watched it.
I don't think I don't know if he literally may not have. I'm sure he has a name, but I don't know if I'm sure they've never said it.
Episode 2.
Yeah. Now I have to look up Electric Mayhem band
members. No, you don't. Cause... Do that shit on your own time. What else we got? Is that it? That was a lot. That was a lot of watches, jerks.
Yes.
All right, new releases. Anything here that's anyone playing any new releases?
His name is Lips.
He plays the trumpet.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah.
His name is Lips. There we go. Anything on here that I'm playing? No. I'm not playing it. I don't think I'm playing anything on here. I'm playing things, just not these things.
Hogwarts Legacy is out for everything now.
That's nice.
They sold a lot of those for the first time through.
I'm sure they
made $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna make another $1 billion.
Good for them.
Or more. What else?
I'll get Zelda. It's not on this list yet. It'll be on next week's list. But
you ordered it. We know.
I did order it. It's gonna come.
Heard about it.
Right to my house.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's it for the new releases.
That's pretty much it. There's not a lot of new releases. I mean, there's only maybe 20 games for Switch this week. It's a light week.
Right. right. Pizza Bar Tycoon Multiplayer Edition. All right, that's it. Good. Let's move on.
Let's do how about a word from our friends? It's been a while. All right. Well, what is HelloFresh? That's what you are all asking yourselves right now. With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Flavor is in full bloom at HelloFresh. Enjoy the taste of spring with chef-curated recipes featuring ripe seasonal ingredients delivered right to your door. HelloFresh does more than just delicious dinners. Not only can you take your pick from 40 weekly recipes, but you can choose from over 100 items to round out your order, from snacks and easy lunches to desserts and pantry necessities. Everything arrives in one box on the delivery day you choose. HelloFresh makes dinner time a snap, with deliciously easy options that will please everyone at your table. From fit and wholesome to pescatarian to veggie, they have a meal that suits your lifestyle. Plus, you could swap out proteins and sides to your liking. HelloFresh cares about quality. That's why with their seasonal ingredients, That's why their seasonal ingredients are picked at peak ripeness and travel from the farm to your home in less than 7 days, so you know they're fresh. I am not just reading an ad. I am also a HelloFresh customer. I have been for years. I highly recommend it. I've been enjoying, although I believe this is the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy meals. I had some Guardians of the Galaxy ravioli that was quite good. And I had, I'm trying to remember what the one was that I had last week that was also very good, but my memory is escaping. I did have some steakhouse pork chops this week, though, that were quite delicious. And I had tortellini salad for lunch. I got a lunch. The lunch tortellini salad was so good that I'm still thinking about it a week later. So, yeah, it's HelloFresh. It's great. It's always great. So go to HelloFresh.com/CAGcast16 and use code CAGcast16 for 16 free meals plus free shipping. Again, go to HelloFresh.com/CAGcast16 and use code CAGcast16 for 16 free meals plus free shipping. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
Time for Wombat's Fortnightly News.
Woo! So, yeah. So let's talk about Fortnite. Let's talk about Fortnite and Star Wars for a minute.
Literally a minute, starting now.
All right. So the last season and a little bit once over the summer, they did these little mini season passes where, in addition to the regular season pass, they released these free mini season passes that only last 3 weeks. And if you do all the challenges, you would get some neat stuff, some neat free stuff. They were free.
Oh, free. Okay.
Free mini season passes. So imagine my surprise when I woke up on my birthday to see that not only were they doing another one of these unannounced, like a big surprise drop for Star Wars week, but
Chip just got it.
I missed it. Anyway, so they have this 30
seconds.
A Star Wars mini pass. But for the first time, they did it in 2 tiers. There is the free one where you could get a free clone trooper skin and all sorts of accoutrement that go with it. But if you wanted to pay an extra 1,000 V-Bucks, which is fairly inexpensive for what you get, you would get 3 more clone trooper skins and Darth Maul. So a supplementary season pass that has 5 skins. One of them being Darth Maul. It's really exciting. It's really smart because it's got obviously people talking about it and playing the game.
Is this Darth Maul with robot legs?
No, this is regular. This is Darth Maul. So it's pretty cool. I mean, doesn't feel nickel and dimey. What I was going to say, what I think is, more relevant maybe to your interest and just games as service in general, is that they didn't just come out and say, oh, by the way, here's a mid-season pass. Here's how we're going to charge you for everything. They kind of built their way up to it. They did, the first one they did was the Dragon Ball Z one, which was okay. It didn't have great stuff in it, but it was free. Then they did a second one, which was all Fortnite original stuff, but had really cool stuff in it, but it was also free. Now they're like, and here's one for Star Wars. If they charge 1,500 V-Bucks for the Darth Maul skin alone, which would have been basic, that's like the normal price for a licensed skin, no one would complain. And instead they're going to charge 1,000 V-Bucks and you get 5 clone troopers and a Darth Maul as well. It's just a really smart way to get
a lot of clone troopers.
It's a lot of clone troopers. Why
do you need 5 clone troopers?
Because it's fun.
But what does that mean? 5?
There's the one you ever play the game Republic Commando back in the day?
Oh, I get it. Right. It's the fat one, the tall, skinny one.
No, there's orange paint on it. Orange paint.
Oh, that's Nintendo NES hockey. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway.
The average guy.
Yeah.
He's good at everything. He's just okay at everything.
Just the different paint colors.
So what you're saying is, if I'm following you clearly, is you like Fortnite and Star Wars, and now they've put them together.
I like Fortnite. Again. I like Star Wars.
Again.
They put them again.
They put them together again, but they did it in a smart way where I don't feel like I'm being bled dry of money.
Right.
And I appreciate that they did that in this way, because I feel where a lot of these other games and services go wrong is they don't know how to monetize it in a way that the consumer doesn't feel like they're getting beaten up by the game.
Right.
Does Darth Maul have his floating rascal scooter?
He does. He has it. No, he doesn't. Unfortunately,
doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
His legs float behind him.
You get his glider is his spaceship. Is the glider for him, not the scooter. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that Epic Games is able to deliver some good value to the customer after paying off over $500 million fine to the FTC for shady business practices. Like
in the past, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, That's like we're talking like fucking Fox News Dominion territory here in terms of settlements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like we're almost there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot.
Yes. But anyway, other service games, Multiverses or Speedway or whatever the hell, the Mickey's Racing, and
I'm still playing some of that. That's still a lot of currencies.
I mean, there's so much that could be learned from the leaders of the industry that for some reason just feels like they see one thing, but they don't understand what makes it successful. All they see is people are buying stuff. We need to add stuff for people to buy, but they don't quite get that it's not, there's like a build up to it too. You want to like start, you gotta hook people in, like drugs. You got to give them a taste.
Use the dark patterns to get them hooked in.
Yeah,
and then you pay the fine later. Don't even worry about it. Fucking $500 million. What's up? You're making so much money. Just don't worry about it. Well, we got a lot here. So everybody wants us to talk about Xbox because that's been like the news item this week or last week because Phil Spencer went on like Kind of Funny Games and said things that probably there's a reason why these guys usually don't go on like podcasts and stuff, because then they say shit, they give bad sound bites. That's why PR hates when this shit happens. So he went on Kind of Funny and basically started talking about Xbox losing, which just is bad. I mean, okay, you can come across as humble, but PR wise, you don't really want like the head of the company talking about all the L's you're taking and how like you can't win really. Like there's nothing you can do to win. And that all may be 100% fucking true, but you don't necessarily want.
You still need to say it.
Say it out loud, especially in like this, what would you call that? Like, this fan environment. It's not like he went on fucking Bloomberg to talk about the ins and outs of why they're losing.
I think he was, I can't speak for him, but I think there was an attempt to sound relatable.
Of course.
You're like, hey
but
guys,
it's not his job.
I'm just like you with a lot more money, but I'm just like you. And I hear what you're saying. We're in third place and
we can't win.
They can't always win. And I'm like,
I didn't watch it. I only read like the articles about it.
I watched like the clips that were like going around on social media, but that was about it.
Was he wearing a t-shirt with sports jacket?
I think he was wearing a t-shirt. I don't think he was wearing a sports jacket.
Oh, see that?
Because he's relatable. He's just like you and me.
Well, I wouldn't have fucked up that whole Xbox thing, I
mean, they are in third place. I don't think there's a way of climbing out of that hole. I think they will be in third place.
Right. Sure, but you don't need to go on podcasts and talk about it. It's not no one's going to feel bad for you and buy more Xboxes.
And you know what? Third place is fine.
Totally.
That's what I was going to say. I was literally about to say the same thing. I mean, if a genie came up to me right now and said, you'll be in this, the third leader in some industry. Would you take that wish? I'd be like, yeah.
A multi-billion dollar industry.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be number 3. I'm like, you don't see Dr. Pepper complaining.
Right. And, I'm sure number 3, Dr. Pepper. What about RC Cola? They're complaining.
I don't think they're number 3. Exactly. Right. RC Cola would love to be the number 3 soft drink company.
Right.
Do you know that Coca-Cola and Pepsi are not allowed to buy Dr. Pepper?
What do you mean?
Like there's a FTC regulation where they're not allowed to buy the. They both have wanted to buy the Dr. Pepper companies, but they're not allowed because it would be too
powerful.
It would be too powerful.
Dr. Pepper
they both distribute and bottle it in different regions, right?
There's something like, I don't know. I just, there's a little fun facts that I heard that could be completely untrue. Right.
Dr. Pepper is the Activision of the beverage industry.
Something like that. But
just be too powerful.
Xbox, you know what? I think Xbox could have a nice time being the Dr. Pepper. Although I think they'd rather be Pepsi. They are currently Dr. Pepper.
Which could be number 3 and have like the best streaming service, like the best cloud service, and have plenty of money coming in. So you didn't sell the most consoles. I like
Dr. Pepper more than Coke and Pepsi.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
It's the better soda. Let's face it.
Just don't talk about. You don't need to be humble when you're selling like a brand. You're not just selling a box, or I mean, he knows this, but like it's an idea. Like gamers want to win. They don't want to be attached to something that's taking L's. You
say like, sure, we're not number 1 in sales, or number 2 in sales, or number 3 in sales, but we still believe we have the best console and the best deal in the marketplace.
You can be humble without saying that you're a loser or losing. You can say you're working hard to bring the best games, but
can you say that?
But the problem is that they had a really bad.
You don't have to believe them.
It was during a bad week. I mean, trying to do damage control after Redfall. Did you play any of Redfall?
Right. That was this is all fallout from yes, that's correct. This is all fallout from Redfall. He was doing damage control, much like when Wombat was the featured gamer on Xbox Live, and we had to have Major Nelson come on our show. Or not Major Nelson, Major Nelson had the other guy come on the show. I think Phil was like, "Hey, I'm coming on your show. You're gonna have me on your show, and I'm gonna, talk about Xbox." And how we're trying hard.
I mean, Redfall is not what people were expecting. And for a game that came out of the gate as this is going to be our big Bethesda spring release, it's a first party game from our new studio. It's got multiplayer, it's got single player, it's going to be on Game Pass, but if you don't have Game Pass, it's $70. Like, they were really touting this as their big next gen, big entry first party game, and it's not very good. I played it. The worst thing about it is that it's just kind of meh. It's not even that it's so bad. It's just kind of there.
It sounds like it doesn't do one thing really well. Like, not even one thing. Like, you can't even say like, oh, at least the shooting is super tight, or it sounds good, or it whatever.
There's a lot, like, the game feels like you ever play a game and there's like one element in it that feels like an afterthought, and you're like, oh, if they just didn't have this one thing in it, the game would probably actually be better. This game feels like it's all afterthoughts.
Right.
It feels very by committee. Like, I'm sure there was at some point they knew what kind of game they wanted to make, and then they just didn't make it. And to be honest, if you play Dead Island 2 feels like what Redfall wants to be. Because they're so similar in so many ways. You just swap out zombies with vampires.
Oh, really? Okay.
Open world first person game fighting hordes of blank. But Dead
Island 2 is not really open world, even though it's sort of like open.
You know what? But I like open world ish because, but again, that's part of what makes Dead Island 2 better than Redfall.
Right.
Is there's not wasted space.
Right.
Because wasted space is worse than smaller environments.
See, I don't even want to waste the space on my hard drive to download Redfall after I heard how mediocre it is.
72 gigs. 72 gigs.
I downloaded it. I haven't tried it yet. I feel like I need to try it just to know, but that's not the greatest place you want to be on your exclusives. I want to try it just to know. Like, Sony wouldn't have released this.
No, they wouldn't have.
Right? Like,
so you know what though? I'm wondering if there would have been intervention sooner
maybe I wouldn't have gotten to this point at Sony. Like, yeah. Right? Like they whether you like their exclusives or not, like they all come out and they're polished enough, right? There's
at least an 8. It's at least an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10.
Right. There's like there's a level of quality there that you're like, okay, this is going to be a good game. It might not be my thing or not, but it's going to be a good game. People are going to enjoy it. They're on Sony games. I think they keep their scope in check on a lot of their games to where it's a smaller, like focused experience. Like even like the Spider-Man games, for instance, right? Like
all the Insomniac games.
It's an open world game, but it's not super huge. And the mechanics are really what keep you playing, right? Like there's enough to do, but the mechanics are really tight and it looks nice.
Yeah,
right?
Which is important. Again, open world. If you're making an open world game, you need to look at that map and go, do I need all of this space? What is the point of this field right here in this map? Is it necessary, or should we be cutting out, this section of this map and making it a little bit smaller? Because I'd have no problem with a smaller map in an open world game if it means that there's less waste and yet somehow still more to do. But Redfall didn't seem to get that memo. Also, it's very bland looking for a game that's supposed to be, a $70 next gen game. I think part of their other problem was they slapped that next gen price on it. Even with Game Pass, there's still a perception of, okay, you're saying this is it. This is next gen. These are the new prices. This is what your top shelf. You're coming out of the gate with this at the top shelf price. I'm expecting a top shelf game. That's the consumer expectation. And if you can't fulfill it,
don't release it.
Price,
don't release it or drop the price.
Why do you need to? Why do you need to release it? Right. Just hold on to it.
It's May. It's like
right.
Not exactly like the big month for game shopping.
I think they thought, maybe they thought because it was sort of a light month that they could get away with it. But again, it's so strange because I'm still playing Dead Island 2 to go from one to the other and seeing how similar they are and how much better one is than the other. Is Dead Island 2, don't get me wrong, it's not the best game.
Let's go into talking about Dead Island 2 now, since I've been playing a lot of that too.
Like, it's not good. It's not the greatest game ever made.
No.
But it's a lot of fun.
It's a straight up zombie killing simulator.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's all it's trying to be. It's trying to give you a nice environment to kill a lot of zombies in and give you a nice assortment of weapons to do it with. And also, I was
gonna say, it's
environmental destruction as well.
It's killing a lot of zombies in a lot of different ways. And that's where it succeeds. And it looks great doing it.
That's it. And that's all they're trying to do. And they're trying to give it like a little, humor to it. But just like the slightest taste of action RPG, because you're leveling up weapons and you're leveling up yourself too.
Have you found some good curveballs? I find that's the real key to that game is you got to find the right curveballs.
I found some, but I just used the Molotov and the bomb, pipe bomb or whatever. One of the bombs.
I have a sticky bomb.
Yeah.
And I have just a standard grenade. Which is actually kind of fun.
That sounds good. My go-to is the hunting rifle. I like the hunting rifle and I aim for the legs. And you can blow the legs off of the zombies and it looks very cool as they are walking and then half their leg goes away and then they just die and fall over.
Do you have the perk that when you maim a zombie, you get health back? Because I find that
maybe. Yes, I switched to that because you're shooting off the legs.
Because if you're shooting off the legs, then you want that perk because you get your health back every time you do it. I like.
What level are you?
What level am I? 22 or something like that?
Okay, you're a little ahead of me. I'm like 19.
Yeah, a little bit ahead of you. Not much, but there's some really, really cool stuff in that game. It just, again, it does, but it knows exactly what it is. It obviously takes time to be released, but.
It also, it's not frustrating in that it respects your time. When you die, it's like, all right, whatever. You just died and you're going to start over from like right here.
Yeah.
It's like not like no great loss.
And it saves constantly, and you're not, there. You could pause it.
Yeah, it's just, and it's got slow motion killings, which adds at least 1.5 points to any review out of 10.
And it's the animations on those zombies is just gross and amazing all at the same time.
The gore, it's very gory.
It's very gory. I'm a melee weapon guy. I switch up to just different ones. I like the wrench or a hammer or just,
blunt force.
I'm a blunt force kind of guy.
Yep. It like you said, it's nothing super duper special, but it's fun. And like, you can just play it for like 20, 30 minutes or an hour, right? Like you can play it in short bursts, or
I've been playing. I like it in short bursts. I think more than an hour. And then you're like, it's a little much,
right?
But yeah.
It's pretty cool. I'll finish that. I know I'll finish that.
Me too.
I've also been playing a game that just came out in early access on Steam called Tape to Tape, which is a roguelike hockey game.
Oh, okay. I've seen this. Yeah.
So it's basically like NHL 94, old school Sega Genesis hockey, but with a roguelike attached to it. So like you're getting new talents for your players and you're playing different types of teams. Like the first boss team that you play against is a bunch of referees. And then like the referee is cheating for them while you play against them. It's really fun. I'm on like I've gotten up to the 3rd level. I'm in the middle of a run right now. It's called Tape to Tape. If you like those old school hockey games, it's really great. If you grew up playing Genesis hockey, you're going to love, and you like roguelikes, you're going to love Tape to Tape. So that's that.
I've been playing Halo 3.
I heard of that
game.
Yeah, I've heard of that game. I played a lot of that.
Still pretty good.
Still good.
We're getting ready to finish that one up.
Nice.
Good luck.
Nice.
Thanks. We're finishing the fight. That was that one, right? Was Halo 3 finishing the fight?
Maybe?
I'm not sure.
Which one of these am I finishing the fight in?
They never finish the fight.
Halo 4. I don't know.
I don't think it was 4. I want to say 3 was where we were finishing the fight. 4, we're just walking around not fighting anybody, I believe. I think that's what 4 was.
And that was Halo Reach, I think. What else? Do we want to mention any of these other things? Like the Xbox storage expansion cards getting permanent price cuts? I bought one.
I mean,
You're
only
welcome,
because you brought it up at the
Right.
top of the show. The 100 greatest games ever made list was released on GQ magazine. They got a lot of people to actually do this. Oh, I can't see that.
With Space Invaders? What number was Space Invaders?
I don't believe.
Oh, I'm not looking at this list. Look at this. Isn't there just like a list? I have to
Is this
scroll.
one of the things? Is this something that I have to click through every game?
No, it scrolls. It's just a lot of scrolling, and I was trying to do it. It lazy loads.
Number 100, Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic. Number 99, Res.
Yeah, no, we're not going to do that.
I'll do the bottom 50.
I would say only starting at. I'm going to start at 11 because I find that 11 should be higher, and that is Resident Evil 4.
No. We're only going to read one, and it's number 69, which is Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask.
Well, 10 is Half-Life 2. 9 is Dark Souls. 8 is Portal 2. Then 7 is Metal Gear Solid. 6 is Mass Effect 2. 5 is The Witcher 3.
This list is dumb as I scroll through it. It's completely meaningless.
4 is Bloodborne.
Sure.
Bloodborne is the 4th greatest game ever made. Did you know that?
Yeah, I figured.
Yep.
I had it at number 3 on my list.
3 is Tetris. 2 is The Last of Us. And 1 is The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently they had there's like 100 people that voted on this.
More, I think.
Yeah, from all era.
Here's the list. There's a list of all the people who voted.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it's like it's everybody you've ever heard of that's worked in video games, and some people who work on video games. It's not just.
Thank fucking God they didn't ask me.
Fortnite came in at number 81.
I know. I was impressed to see Fortnite on the list.
Right behind Firewatch.
Yeah, Michael Pachter was one of the people.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they didn't ask any of us.
Pro Skater 2 was number 78. This is I don't believe this list at all.
Who the fuck wants to write this list?
It's a weirdly bad list for the amount
of people.
It's
too general. You can't ask people the top 10. They're the top 10 best games ever made. That's fucking so. There's too many to choose from, and it's just like it's so too general, way too general. It's like
I didn't realize people like Disco Elysium so much that it's number 12. Like I didn't even know
because they're asking all these super nerds.
I literally know nothing about it.
I played it. I bought it, and I played a few hours of it. It's fine. It's just like it's like an adventure, a graphical adventure game. What number is it on the list?
It's like 12 or something like that.
I don't know.
Crazy
whatever.
High.
Where's Pac-Man? Is that like for number 5 or something?
I don't know if Pac-Man's even on the list. I don't think there's Pac-Man or Ms. Pac-Man.
Oh, come on. It's not. It's ridiculous. It's
bullshit. It's not even on the list. That's what I'm saying. Journey is on the list. This game also says that the Outer Wilds is better than the original Super Mario Brothers, which, I'm not saying the Outer Wilds is a bad game. I'm just saying in the grand scheme of things, there is no Outer Wilds without Super Mario Brothers. I don't think I'm saying anything crazy. It's not a hot take.
Right. Oh, this is GQ UK even. It's not even American GQ. You should have asked the British gaming journalists.
It's very strange. Hades at number 38. Hades is better than Super Mario Brothers.
They like the roguelikes. These nerds.
Yeah. There's some weird crap on this list. That's all.
They have The Sims being better than The Sims 2.
They do have The Sims being better than The Sims 2. You know why? Because I think The Sims... But again, in the grand...
better than The Sims 2?
It's not even that The Sims is better than The Sims 2. It's that The Sims kind of changed video games in a major way.
What are we voting on, though? Like the best 100 video games? Or what are we voting on here?
I don't know.
Games?
I mean...
The greatest video games of all time.
The greatest. Okay.
Greatest. That's why these lists
probably
are dumb.
Sims, whatever number we're on now, 4. It's probably better than
exactly.
Than The Sims 1.
Sims 1.
But what The Sims did for gaming, I think
I don't care. They have Super Mario Brothers is like number 96.
Well, that's what I'm
list,
saying.
right?
It's like I don't know if it understands what it wants to be.
Nobody knows, or we've talked about it too much. We're just getting frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Sexually.
We'll give our top 100 next episode.
Never.
I'll get started.
Where are we here? Oh, we have to do a Spank Banky from Whip Smart Banky. He implored me. This is a big one. This is an important one, he said. This is Mugen Souls. Mugen? Is that how you say that? This is a big deal, apparently.
I remember this one. I played some of this way back when.
Right. It's a Switch release of a 2012 PlayStation 3 RPG. It was once censored in the West. And it's from the developers of Neptunia and Fairy Fencer. And Banky says aficionados will know what this means. Aficionados means perverts.
Me.
Preverts.
Me. Oh, and me.
And Chip.
Right.
He says it's delightfully bright and it's got colorful graphics and unapologetically chaotic. It's not for the casual RPG fan and hindered by its dated design. But its originally censored bathhouse minigames has been restored to its full glory and exactly what you think it is. You can touch, rub, and lather the ladies up, Ship. So you missed that from the first one.
I did miss that out on the first one, I guess.
I feel like you could really enjoy this game now. He said it comes with all the DLC from the original release. And it's important. Oh, this is the important part. I bold-faced this. It's important to support this type of interesting gem that was otherwise censored and may have been otherwise lost to obscurity and good taste. No, I added the good taste part. And East Asia Soft gave us the review code. So it sounds like he likes it and he says it's important. It's not just a game, it's an important part of our history as human beings. Thank you, Banky. A couple CAGbag questions, if we can. This one is from... We can. I feel like we can. Just a couple here. Mm-hmm. One's from Christian. He writes in and he says, if you had to pinpoint it, what was the moment video games stopped getting better year over year?
Did they?
They used to be
been kind of stagnant for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, of course we could pinpoint it because it was a cataclysmic event that happened to every single person that's listening.
Before that.
I don't think so. I think it's COVID. I think it's 100% COVID. I think that without it, we probably wouldn't. Things would have been very different. I think that year of whatever, happened, not being able to make games the way that games were being made before, it definitely had a huge impact, and I think that's the only reason why
this should have been one of the easiest industries to continue on in COVID.
Yet it wasn't.
Yes.
I mean, let's face it, hindsight's 2020. I don't think they were prepared, infrastructurally for game development being done remotely.
I think what he's maybe saying is that the games are only getting incrementally better, and that increment is smaller than it was maybe.
The other reason for that also
10 years ago.
There was the switch or the need for the always on live service element of every game definitely hurt the ability for innovation in games.
Well, not the need, but the desire to try to cash in on some of that stuff.
To get that hook, to have that one game where it doesn't work all the time. It's very hard to do.
A lot of resources went to making games like that.
And they most of them failed horribly. And if those resources, for all we know, if Anthem was the game that Anthem was supposed to be, we'd still be, it would be on that list, that GQ list.
Can't blame COVID on that.
It might have been. I don't know.
Yeah. But you're right. No, I'm saying, and you can't blame COVID. I was agreeing with you. I'm saying if they didn't try to shoehorn in things that didn't belong there, who knows? And there are so many games
way before COVID.
Yeah.
I think it's way before COVID.
Yeah.
I think I would trace it back to when all of the companies became only 5 companies now that make games. You used to have a lot of innovation because there was a lot of players in the game, right? So you had publishers, and they might not be the top tier publishers, but you would have ones that would come out with a game that would be interesting and be worth playing. It would have a unique voice to it, but still be a high enough budget to where it wasn't just the indie
sure
type game. It was a big game. It was just, you had so many different voices back then. Now there's I don't know. There's only so many publishers, right? Left.
Right.
Not that left.
And they don't want to make a game like that. They want to make a game like Wombat was talking about earlier, which is a moonshot game as service, right? Which, maybe we'll make $1 billion off it or lose 200 million. Or just sequels of existing franchises. And all those companies did that, doubled down on that.
Call of Duty used to be a game that would innovate on itself over different iterations through Call of Duty 4. Then after Call of Duty, it's after Call of Duty 4, it became a different type of game. It became a game about live service. It's now about, we're going to sell the components of the game separately, and the story and pushing those boundaries. Call of Duty isn't in the news anymore for pushing the boundaries of what can be done in a game story wise. And when the Xbox 360 came out and Call of Duty 2, was it 2, right? That looked unlike anything that we had ever seen before. And it strayed away from being something that wanted to be an industry innovator to wanting to be an industry money leader. And that's the change. And I'm not saying that Activision's wrong for doing that, because it worked out very well for them, clearly. But that's
except for now.
But all these companies consolidated very quickly.
Right. All the companies did it at the same time. They all had the same research. I guess they crunched the numbers, and they're like, hey, we don't want to take risks. We're just going to put out the same, we put out the same big franchises and maybe do some moonshots, for these big games of service, but nothing not a creative moonshot. Mm-hmm. They just want a big upside. They don't want to spend $100 million and make $200 million. They want to spend $100 million and make $1 billion. They don't
over 10 years.
They don't
on the same game. Yeah. On the same, yeah. They want their Fortnite. They want their PUBG.
Yep.
They want their Destiny.
They don't want to make a game for 50
you're not
million.
Making BioShock now.
Right.
No.
Right.
BioShock is that first BioShock game just isn't happening ever again.
They're not satisfied.
Or the third one.
Right.
Or the third one. The third one I didn't like that much, but yeah.
It was on the list, top 100.
I know it was on the top 100. But the first one is significantly better.
I agree with you there, but
yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
too much research, and
it's too much research, and then everybody chasing the graphics too. Like the graphics got too good to where it costs so much to make the games, and just have so many programmers doing all of this that it kind of got out of having that second tier of games that were like, okay, this still looks good enough,
right?
But like,
just throw a filter on it.
Reasonable sized teams could like make it and like take more chances on it.
Yeah.
Well, you have to get those frame rates right, otherwise the internet goes crazy. So, a lot of it also has to do with that. I mean, the user, the game player, has become significantly more toxic in the last 5 years. And that, I think, has had an impact on game development. The toxic fan community. You have people that get burnt out and they quit in games that could be finished by talented people. They're like, screw it, I'm just going to go program computers for a bank and make twice as much money and go home at a reasonable hour and not have to deal with people on the internet. And I do think that that's part of it. I think the toxic fan base has done damage to the video game industry.
Interesting. Yeah, it's not helping.
Nope.
Red Tank writes in and says, why do you think Microsoft is having such a hard time getting good exclusive games out for the Xbox? They forgot to make them 5 years ago.
Yeah, COVID.
That's slow. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it takes a long time to make these big games, and they're
trying to rush things. Yeah, they got started late. They're trying to rush it, and it's not easy. That's the answer, because they're trying to do something that's incredibly difficult.
I think they need to, if they truly want to invest and get like the top quality games, they've got to change their focus internally and have a team that's focused on making sure that there's quality reviews along the way, and that there's like a standard of like, okay, like somebody has to come in and with a vision, like an overall vision of like, this is what we're doing on these games, and this is this is a gate that we're not going to let this game release until it's through this gate, and we all agree that this is of caliber.
Do you think they should be focusing on smaller games that they could put out?
I don't care what they focus on, just make them so that they're done
and good.
Well, like if Redfall wasn't their first game in forever, like if there was like 2 smaller games in between that were like high quality, like a Rogue Legacy 2 type of thing, because that's a really good game that I know we both liked. If they came out with something that was as good as that game.
I don't think so. I don't think it's about the scope with your Microsoft size. It's about the willingness to make it good and polished. Like I would point, like, if I was Microsoft, I would go to the Forza Horizon team and get their input on every game on whether or not it was ready to release.
Is this their only game that's good?
That is your studio that puts out
a good game,
a top tier game, top tier finished game. There's no shortcuts there. It's, hey, this is a game. We have very limited mechanics, right? Like there's not a ton of mechanics to that game, but it's fun.
It looks does great. One thing and it does it well. Drive. This game you drive, so we made sure everything drives well.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's their studio right now, right? Like that's the one. That's the one you can point at and go like they're doing it right.
The only one. Halo fucked up.
Yep.
Can't even say that.
Yeah, I don't know that Infinite game. I don't. Yeah, too many cooks in the kitchen on trying to make that something that it didn't need to be.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's any other ones here that we need to get to. I think that's pretty good. That's enough, right? Have we said enough?
I think we're good.
Have we said it all?
I don't think there's anything left to be said.
Perfect.
Ever.
Yeah. All right. Then I guess we won't see you next week because we've said it all. But just in case that we do, I'll leave the door open. So we'll see you next week.
Bread's done.